Hello everyone, welcome back to the SAP Manufacturing channel. Today's video will be dealing with the production of a semi-finished product in a simple process, I would say, and it will be integrated with QM. However, the integration itself will be dealt in another video, okay, specifically for QM. This is for the sake of shortening the time of a video, right? Otherwise, it's getting too long to produce a video, I would say, or long videos, right? So basically, the process will be for a semi-finished product, which is normally a bulk, right? You produce, in this case, it's going to be fertilizer. It's going to be a bulk fertilizer that we will stock, and then we can start packaging from there, right? There is another video for the package from the bulk and producing bags and also pallets, and we check the handling unit as well. Okay, if you haven't seen that video, you can check it. And this time it's going to be just the bulk production. Okay. Okay, let me create the process order, call one for the semi-finished product. This is the semi-finished product. You can remove the order type. It will be picked up anyway, right? As you can see, it's picked up, right? So let me produce 1,000. Let me put the forward, and it's going to be on Monday. When I press enter, I will get the scheduling. Okay. Remember that you can check the scheduling or time here, right, from 8 to 2 p.m. based on the operations, right? You can see here the time that it will take for every operation and phase, right? The time it takes. See, it's taken from 9 to 11, and here is from 11 to 12, etc., right? Okay. We can also check the material list, so we see all the components and the quantities we need, right? For 1,000 unit, we need 300,000 for the urea and etc., right? So all the components here, as you can see. Okay. These are batch managed, so when we release the order, we will have the automatic batch determination. We will have a video for that. Okay, this is important because you normally want to work, especially in the chemical industry and also, of course, in the food industry and pharmaceutical industry, right? You normally you don't want to use or pick up randomly batches, right? Because you need to pick up the right batch that will expire first, etc., right? And you also might want to determine specific batches in terms of certain parameters as well. Okay, we will see that in specific scenarios in the near future. Okay, basically in this case, it's going to be just based on the expiration date. Okay, the ones we are selecting here. I will create a specific video probably related to this one. Okay, so we can check why the batches are determined. Okay, I will show you that anyway, the result from the results perspective. So let me go to material list. When we press release, this will be done automatically. Okay, but I just want to show you one case specifically. Okay, there is a button here that it says execute batch determination. Okay, so we can determine manually the batch, even though we don't need to do that. Okay, that's what I'm going to do it just for this one, and for the others will be automatically done. Okay, this is just for the sake of understanding how this works. Okay, we have an issue here. As you can see, the issue is that it's requested 300 and we have only 232. Okay, if there was enough stock, we shouldn't have this window. Okay, we shouldn't have seen this window. That's what I wanted to say. Okay, so let me take 232 So now we have 232. Okay. So we still need to provide 68. Okay. Let me try again. Yeah. The issue here is that we have an open quantity and we don't have a batch that satisfy the criteria to supply these 68. Okay. Let me sort it out, and we will continue. Okay. Um, I don't want to add more time to do all that um, solution, let's say, here, right? But let's assume we should have stock, enough stock, right? Um, with the batch determination criteria. Because what happened, probably the system will check, right? But since we haven't, let's say, released the order, it didn't check, right? So before this, we can do the following. Typically, do you want to copy selected batch? Yes, of course, I will just copy that one. Here you go. Okay. If we release this, we will have a material availability anyway. Or we can force the material availability without releasing it, just pressing this button. Okay. Yeah. So the issue here is that, again, like I mentioned, it's not necessarily an issue of the quantity. As you can see, there are quantity available, right? From the kg's perspective, okay, but most likely the batch does not satisfy the criteria. Okay, that's why probably this is not assigning this 68, still missing. Okay, just give me a second. I will sort this out. Okay, this is a good opportunity to show and share the findings and the solution for this. Right, this is a real business case. Right. So the situation was that we had only 232 kgs, right, out of 300 that we needed. The system says, no, but we do have 300, right? Yes, you can add up this and it's 332. So it's more than we need, right? Of course, this 2000 is in quality inspection, is not available. That's fine. And then we have this other batch, as you can see here, which is basically blocked, right? So we cannot use it. That's fine. But we still have this 100. Okay. So what I have done is I went to the batch, right? The MSC2N to check the batch. First of all, I came here. I checked the data manufacturer is fine. It's not, let's say, expired, right? It's still valid from the this data perspective, right? Next inspection is going to be still next year, right? So we shouldn't have any problems here, right? But then we need to check classification. In the classification, you can check one thing before going into the details because now I know what is missing here, right? But before going there, you need to check status, okay? And as you can see, it's incomplete. An incomplete status means that the system will not pick up this batch. Okay, so let's sort this out, right? And then we can change to release. So what is missing here is this remaining shell life for the batch. Okay, let me put just 45 days, for example. Okay, and now we should be able to change the status to released. Okay, and then I'm gonna accept this and save it. Okay, let me check it out one more time. Now it's released, right? So now it should be available. So let me close this. To change, yes, I will save it, of course. Perfect. So it was saved. Now, here we will not notice any change, okay? It's the same thing. I'm just going to refresh just to show you. Yeah, there is nothing changed, right? However, when we go to the batch determination, and I click here, I go to batch determination. I'm just gonna test this. If we have any issue, maybe we might need to save the order and come back, okay? Just in case. I'm not sure it's checking. Yes, it is checking anyway. Okay. Okay, as you can see, the system is adjusting automatically the 232 that was already assigned and these remaining 68 using the other batch that now is available. Okay, so this is a good example. How can we handle this, right? Or what could be the root cause of not having the batch determined here automatically, but we do have the total quantity. Okay, this is a very important case that you might need to be dealing with in the future, right? Okay, excellent. So we can go back. Yes, I will. Yeah, I should have selected copy there, right? But it's okay. Now it's copy. As you can see here, you have the batch split, right? Two batches, the total quantity of 300 kgs that we needed. Okay. Now I'm going to just release the order so you can see that this will be automatically done. Of course, if there is any issue like this one, right, that the batch is not available or the quantity is not enough, right, we have a shortage, we will have to deal with the okay, we didn't need to, right? It's already assigning automatically, right? Okay, so these two were not determined, right? Let me, so we do have for limestone coating, but we need for these two, okay? Let me check. So let me select and try to do this manually, and we will see what the issue is. Okay, yeah, the issue is that we also need to split, okay? Same thing, okay? Since it was in the background, right? It didn't pop up, let's say. So in those cases, if you have missing batches, you need to check the proposal. Okay, it's not necessarily something wrong from the material master necessarily, right? It could be in this case just the split that it's needed. Okay, there was no enough stock in one batch, so there is a split. So in the split, you need to define what you want to do, right? So 232 in this case, and um, 68 we said, right? Yeah, let's pick up 68 from this one. um, yeah, because this is the one that's going to expire first, right? So let's pick up all the quantity from this one, and then we'll leave the second one that will expire later, right, with more quantities. Excellent, so we can copy, and we need to do the same thing for this. Most likely is the same situation. Okay, well, in this case, it's more similar to the first one, probably. Maybe we have a batch that it's not um, complete, right? The status, therefore, is not available. Okay, let me do this quickly offline to save some time, but it's exactly the same issue that we had with the other. Okay, the issue was the simple one. There was no enough stock. Okay, let me just assign again. Now we have 300. Let's copy. Excellent. Okay. So we have all the batch splits needed. In this case, two, and in the other, another batch split, and in the other was just specific batch, only one, right? Because there was enough stock in one. For this one, the stock was not enough at all, right? So I just added um, some kgs and just to for the sake of shortening this video, I would say. Okay, so let me release now. Waiting period for a batch. Let me put just 7 days in this case. It's just a classification of a new batch, okay? The batch for this bulk product. And we can save the order now. This is our process order number. Okay, so let's assume we had produced the bulk product or the semi-finished product, right? And there was an inspection as well in the quality control. We will see that in another video, okay? But let me just QA32 just show you, or let's find out, right? For this material, for example, or I can put 03 here for the inspection lot origin, okay, which is production in process, right? And we should see an inspection lot. Here it is. Okay, this is our inspection lot. Let me just click on it. I will show you the inspection lot and I will pick up the number. This is the inspection lot we have for the in process. And this is the order. See, 161, 161. Okay, and of course, we have the sample calculated. The specification are here because this specification selection was a task list. In this case, keep in mind that for in process, what we have is basically a master recipe, right? There is no inspection plan object created for this because this is the in process. Okay, that's why it says 3. Okay, starting with 3 because it's inspection type 03 for in process. Okay, so I just wanted to show you that. For the integration perspective, I got a requirement from one person that to point out the integration. Okay, so this is part of integration. I cannot show you right now the process itself, but it's going to be in another video for Q1 specifically. Okay, basically now we can go to course 6N to confirm the order, right? Okay. In the confirmation, we will get the confirmation number automatically. So we just need to put here the order number. Okay. I will put the order number. Normally, you also need to put the phase you want to confirm, but we are using a milestone. Okay. So the system should pick up automatically. Let me check that. Yes, as you can see, the 052 phase, which is basically a milestone. I mean, when I mean a milestone is because we set up a key, right? Specifically for that. Okay. So posting date. Okay. This is, it looks like it's not working date. That's why it's complaining. Okay. But that's fine. I just want to show you the, yeah, there is no other status here. So let me just go back. Okay, so basically we will confirm the total quantity, in this case, 1000. We will have a specific videos with variances and that kind of stuff, okay? But in this case, we're just gonna be dealing with the standard process. As you can see here, you see the total quantity that it's supposed to be received, right? And here you will see the confirmation so far, okay? So maybe you can do a partial confirmation, right? While a partial confirmation in this process industry normally is not typically done, right? Because you put all the raw materials together into a vessel or reactor, right? And then you pick up the final product, right? So in general, you produce everything. But for the discrete manufacturing, of course, you can do partial confirmations, okay? Typically. Okay, so for machine, let's assume we will have a kind of a, okay, let me see if I can get more data here. Yes. When you press the actual data, right, the system will propose what it's supposed to be consuming. Okay, so you can let's say modify that if it took more time, for example. But for 1,000, we are supposed to be consuming 1 hour machine and 1 hour of labor. Okay, we can just leave it as it is. The system is suggesting this time. You can put specific time here just for, let's say, the sake of, keep in mind that it's expected on the 18, as you can see, right? Today is 17, so that's why we have a difference here. But this is dependent what you want to do, right? If you want to be choosing reports for this and making some usage of this, for example, I remember in the past a customer of mine asked me to create a report that will, the purpose of the report was used to pay some, let's say, some money, right? Depending on the productivity, if they were inside a range of time, they finished on time, etc. Right? So that's why you normally want in that case. But keep in mind, if you want that, you also need to maintain more information, right? Otherwise, it's just it's like this. This is the important thing here. Okay, then keep in mind that we need to go to the good movements. I mean, we do not necessarily need to go, right? But just for the sake of showing you, it's not a posting date, so that's why it's complaining. Okay. So after you press all the enter to accept all the warnings, we are now in the good movements detail screen. Okay, let me just move this down here. So we have all these movements: consumption from purchase. I'm sorry, from production order. In this case, process order, right? But it's the same thing. The same movement. If we were using production order instead of a process order, it's the same thing. It's 261 movement. I mean, for all the raw materials, the quantities, right? Here you have the chance of changing this. If for some reason you consume more, right, you should put it here. Of course, there are some issues with that, right? We shouldn't be doing, especially in the pharma industry, maybe in the food industry as well. In the chemical, it's a little bit more flexible in that sense, right? Because in the chemical, as long as you are still in the, let's say, specification range, right, it might be okay, right? But keep in mind that the cost will be captured, right? If you consume 70 here, it will be a higher cost and you will have a price difference, which is in this case production variance is the name, right? And it goes to an account typically managed by the plant manager, right, or production manager, right, which is production variances. Okay, so let's leave this as it is. Okay, and see the batches here, so it will be possible to do all the movements here. Keep in mind that we are looking at this screen with these materials here because they are part of a backflash definition, right? So since they were defined as backflash consumption, we can see all of them here. Okay, let me go back. Like I said, I'm just showing you because you have the chance to do changes in the quantities here, right? Otherwise, you can just confirm and accept as the quantity as they are suggested, okay? Based on the bill of materials, right? For 1,000, you need all that quantity. Excellent. So we can save, and keep in mind that here you will take a look at the status text that will tell us that all the movements were done or not, right? If there is any issue. Okay, let's see. Again, it's complaining, calculating cost, post good movements. Okay, this is what we are expecting. So we had 7 good movements, okay, and 0 fail. So this is good, okay? This is what we are always expecting. If you have a failure here, there are 2 things. This might be rejected completely depending on configuration. Okay, it can be rejected completely, or we need to go to the COGI transaction to finish what is pending. Okay, depending on the configuration. In this case, this is configured to send it to the COGI transaction. Okay, so keep in mind that you always need to pay attention to this because you need to go to the COGI and finish the consumption because there was some issue. Maybe there was not enough stock. Maybe it was blocked or whatever. In the meantime, right? It was confirmed in the order. Everything was fine, but then a change affected the stock for some reason, right? And then, of course, you have some issues in the posting the good movements. Okay, let me close this one and let's jump to the last step. In the master recipe, we have a control key that can request an auto go receipt from the for production, right? And we haven't set up that, so it means that we cannot do the auto go receipt in the confirmation. Okay, therefore, we need to do the micro transaction or use the micro transaction for that. So one way of doing that is through the micro transaction. I assume the order should be here. Yeah, it's 161. And you can also use this approach of not using the auto go receipt because you might want to do confirmations by other means, like, for example, with an interface, right? Scanning. If you have a label, you can scan the label and do the good receipt automatically. For example, calling a PAPI for the good receipt, for example, right? And another reason is just to use this manual process from the micro transaction. Okay, it's up to the business to define the way they want to do the good receipt. You can also do that in another, as like I said, in interfaces, right, as well. Okay, so basically the material should be okay, and we will just check batch posted. That's fine. Excellent. So document was posted. We finished the good receipt from production. Okay, we will take a look at the process order, core 2, and we will set it as TICO, okay, technically complete. So process order is 161, enter. So what we want to check here before flagging it as TICO, we want to check the documented good movements, okay? We should always see the consumptions, right? You have two lines, right? Because we have two batches. Remember that for this couple of materials, we have a batch split of two batches to reach the total quantity we needed, okay? And the finished product with the 101 movements. This is important also, okay? As you can see here. So after checking this, that we have covered all the movements, right? You can also check the deliver quantity. That will give you a clue that you should be fine, right? In the other screen, at least for the 101. And then you check, of course, the 261 as well. Since we are sure we consume everything and we received everything, right? Then we can just go ahead here and go to functions, right? And we go to restrict processing, and then we go to complete technically. Okay, this is the TICO that will change here. See the new status added as TICO, technically completed. So with this, we're telling the controllers at the end of a month or whenever they need to do it, typically it's at the end of a month, they can grab this and others process orders and to do the actual costing. Okay, excellent. So thank you for watching this video. If you like the video as usual, please like it, share it. Please remember to subscribe to the channel so you can help me grow the channel. And yeah, that's it. Thank you very much. And I'll see you in the next video.